Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, What Angel Messages. I'm Angel. This is a Viking Valor video reading. So we're going to be looking at a conflict that needs resolution. And in fact, this one has been going on for a couple of readings. In fact, if you've been following, there's been a love conflict that has been going on since the first reading, but it was a little fresh. Someone did something a little bit impulsively and had regrets because they hurted someone else, and it was really fresh. So there had to be time given for an awakening, some sort of illumination that had to be done. In our second reading on the 18th, we discovered that there was another element which had actually provoked one of the two, that is the one that had inflicted pain on the other. And in some manner, however, this person realized that the fault was theirs. Let's call it a fault. It's the actual cause of the conflict came from the side that was impulsive. And they had to do something in order to, well, they had to decide to take on this responsibility and say, yes, I will fix it or I will not fix it. Okay. So hopefully today, and I really do not want to dedicate much more because I love to see happy endings. Hopefully today we're going to see a resolution. At this point, maybe the cards can give us some advice on what to do to bring it to a peaceful resolution, whatever that may be for the parties involved. Okay, let's start everyone because I really hope to have a happy ending. As I had said, the general energy of this reading is, okay, we have the Three of Cups in the reverse. Well, we're getting close because the Three of Cups is actually some sort of friendship or celebration. But unfortunately, it is still in the reverse, meaning that there is some sort of imbalance still. Maybe, no, it's getting better, obviously. It's getting less worse, less strong. Here, this imbalance is talking to me about still the solitude or the loneliness. That is, there is still the separation ongoing. However, we're going to be asking for a resolution, so it doesn't mean that it has to be already resolved. There is still something going on. Otherwise, there would be no need for this reading to ask a resolution, right? Okay, in any case, we're getting close to it because the card is less severe. I just wanted to peek. See, okay, see, we have another three, and this is great, working together. This is something that has already, that's coming through to tell me that there should be teamwork coming up, okay? The two obviously should be working together to understand why this conflict came about, because in fact, in the second reading, we did have an external element. We had an energy that didn't directly interfere, but indirectly influenced one of the parties that caused this problem. Okay, so with this knowledge, with this illumination, we hope the person that caused it understands it. We're gonna see today what is going on. We'll see the situation and then see what the cards give us for the possible solution, the resolution to this conflict, how we can intervene. Spirit, can you give us information at this point of where we are with the conflict? Wow, that was fast. Very fast. Thank you. Okay, let's take a look at these two cards. Yeah, okay, so here we go. This is the very first card that came out, the general reading in the first one on the 9th. The Cup of Love is completely upside down, okay? So all the emotions have been poured out. Like we said, here, we're always in the cups, always in the relationships. They're unbalanced, okay? There's solitude still amongst these two. And in fact, both are feeling empty, cold. They're both feeling the loss, okay? They're both feeling unloved. And the Chariot is in the reverse, meaning that there is no movement. I'm feeling that both parties feel powerless, okay? There's an obstacle. It's like the card, this Chariot cannot go forward because there's an obstacle, okay? And in fact, this is the actual problem that we have to solve. There's an obstacle that we have to overcome. We kind of did get a glimpse of it before, that external energy, the toxic energy that influenced everything indirectly. Yeah, and the Cup of Love is completely empty. Okay, let's go see if that's it. We're going to get the resolution. I'd really love to go to the resolution. Yeah, that star is still out of reach. Look at that. Okay. The Star, which is a beautiful card because it's your hopes and your wishes, etc. There is still the feeling of lack of faith that it's going to come through, or hopelessness. Let's see if it's in both. Yeah, okay. And the decision of there's so much hesitancy. Okay. The truth, however, is going to come out. Okay, here, if it hasn't come out, this depends obviously on you. You know if it resonates or not. If the truth came out before, if it was in that second reading, that toxic energy, okay, there's that feeling of lack of faith because of what came out. Okay, because what was done was done. And there's a lot of indecision. I'm picking out that they're like, I don't know what to do, basically. Okay, and that's why we're here. That's why we're gonna get some advice. It's almost like saying there's no right choice. I can't do one thing and I can't do the other, because if I do try, then it's gonna be wrong. And this was the same energy that was coming through the last time. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, we're getting this energy, but in fact, the cards are here to guide you. So we're still getting the energy that's coming through. They really want it. I'm picking up that the person that schmucked up, they still want it. They understand what they did, but they still want it. But they don't know what they've got their hands tied. They're like, so what do I do? If they're afraid. Yeah, they're definitely afraid. Interesting. Okay. Spirit, what else can you tell us? We'll follow you. Whatever you want to tell us. Anything else about the energy before we ask the resolution? Okay. 8 of Swords in the reverse. Wow, look at all these swords. Yikes. Okay, the 8 of Swords is in the reverse. There's going to be a change. Okay, I'm already feeling that someone has already changed. One of the two parties has already changed, and they're feeling the freedom of this. Okay, what I'm picking up is the person that was hurt has come to terms with it, and they said, okay, fine, you hurt me, I'm going, bye. And that's just it. They're releasing a lot. They feel free and they're releasing a lot, and it's like they're surrendering the idea of having to fight because they were the victim. Okay, so in fact, it's not in their hands. This is another energy. So it's okay. Now we've got the complete picture. This energy here is the one that feels hopeless, that does not know what to do, because the other energy has come to terms with it. Yikes. Okay. Now, at this point, I think we have enough to go on and ask for the resolution. That is, the party that is really hopeless. They're feeling hopeless because of what they did. Okay. And this other person has said, okay, I've rolled up my sleeves and I'm going on because I have to. I'm not going to stay here. Okay. They're releasing themselves and they're surrendering, and they're the survivor. Okay. I'm picking up this is survivor mode, while the other person has realized what they've done. So, we're going to ask now at this point, anything that will help this come to a resolution, because in fact, what we did see in the second reading is that the person that ruined everything, that was really impetuous, was influenced by another ongoing battle, and it brought this negative energy into this situation and caused it. Okay, that's not a justification and it's not an excuse, because in fact, you should be able to separate two things. However, we're human, okay, and that sometimes happens. So, can we resolve it? Let's see. There's always some sort of resolution possible, and then we have to take a look at the two parties if they're willing to do so and if they want to. We can't force anything on anyone, okay? We can just take the message from Spirit, say thank you, and go on, and then we decide. So, Spirit, what is this message? So that, wow, thank you, that we can hope to help these two along. The Hermit, wise. I like this. Very, very wise. self-reflection, withdrawal, okay? Not as an isolation, but as contemplation and introspection. That is, go inside yourselves, both of you, okay? If the viewer and the cross watcher, both of you basically are watching, okay? Do some self-reflection with the knowledge that you have in these two readings and this third one, because we really want to help you guys out and get back together, solve this problem, okay? How about if you both take a step back and you go over everything and by yourselves without any external interference, okay? Third party, fourth party, whoever, just by yourselves, go inside and think about everything that has gone down, everything that has happened, and that's when you should be getting a lot of information, because you're not going to be influenced by anyone at all. Remember that in a relationship, there are two people, and that's it. No one else should intervene. No one else should step in. Okay, your angels are there to help you. And that's why we have this Hermit card come out. When you go into contemplation, when you withdraw and you go into yourself, solitude, okay, your angels are there to help you, to make you happy. They could never lead you wrong. People, even if they have the best intentions, could always give you the wrong piece of advice because they are not you and they are not living your relationship. Only you live your life and your relationship, and only you know what is best for you. So this is a fantastic card, okay? It's also the number 9, which is a very powerful Viking number. It's the number of victory. It's the most powerful number for the Vikings. So if there is any answer that could ever come up for both of you, this is it. Because the answer is inside of yourself. You know what you want. You know if you want to resolve it. You know if you want to forgive. You know if you want to reconcile. And you also know if you want to go your own way. Okay? And just say, that's it. End it here, friends, like before. End. Okay? You know what you want. Whatever was said before when this happened, that's one thing. Right now, if you feel that you want to get rid of this conflict that's still inside of you, that's mustering around, it's inside of you. The answer is inside of you. The moon. Okay. The moon is another card of of secrets that are inside of ourselves. This talks about illusions, okay? And talks about intuition. Just like the Hermit card says, go into introspection because you know that it's inside of you. This too, okay? As you can see, there's a battle here between two Vikings. One is all dressed in white and the other one is all dressed in black. And there's a whole story behind this. But when it comes down to it, is what they're fighting for. And it's this rose, if you can see, that is inside this glass bubble. Hope you can see that. Okay. They're fighting over something precious. Who's going to win? The darkness or the light? Because this rose is something really, really delicate. That's why it's under glass. And that's why you have to fight for it. Okay. Will you fight for it? Will you not? Again, free will, of course. And there's, for example, the dark figure, the dark Viking, kind of looks like mean, but he has a protection rune here. This is like for protection. Okay. While the white figure also has another positive rune on him. The moon tells me that there's things that you may not know. Okay. It's a card also of confusion. So a lot of times when we come and we go into introspection and we have to make a decision, a lot of times we can't because there's certain things we don't know and they have to come to light. Okay, so, well, first of all, you have to go inside yourself and then realize that no matter how much you can rationalize with all the information that you do have, there's still going to be some stuff missing. Why? Because the other person has it. Like in both directions, okay? The other person always has information that you don't have. And the only way to have that information to come to a conclusion of what to do, shall we forgive? Shall we explain everything to each other? That only happens if you talk to each other. That only happens after the turmoil has settled a little bit and time has passed, because in fact, this is from the 9th that we've been looking at it. And we are already on the 27th of the month. has enough time passed for the boiling point to go down a bit, and you're not as hot tempered, it's not fresh, etc. Are you ready to talk? Are you ready to find out all the information from the other side? Find out the why. Were you triggered? Why were you triggered? Why did this happen, etc.? Are you ready for that? Because the introspection is going to give you a lot of information, but it can't give you 100% of it. To get to 100%, you have to talk to the other party. Okay? So your resolution, and I'm glad this came through because I really wanted to see a resolution. I wanted to see this come to a peaceful end, is to talk to each other. Now that things have settled, find out what it is. Find out. We had on the 18th that information of someone being triggered and influenced. How much were they influenced by it? And why? Why did they bring it in? Okay, they were fighting something on the side. Why did they bring it in? How did they bring it in? Etc. Okay, was it fair? Was it not fair? You have to decide this together. Okay, so after reflecting on everything you need to reflect and formulating all your questions, possible answers, hypothetical answers, face each other. Not with conflict, but face each other. Ask all the questions that you need to ask. Get all the answers that you need. You've already contemplated everything. So you already know what information you need to reach your decision. Okay? But before expressing it, get all the facts straight and get all the information. Exchange that information, because you're both fighting to save the same thing, that precious rose. Okay? Those emotions, that love that you have between you. You're both fighting for it. You're both angry about this because you both do not want this to get damaged. And yet you're at a standstill and it can be damaged. Wow. Okay. I really hope you're able to do this. And I really, really hope that this helps calmly, maturely, deeply, spiritually, and emotionally. I really hope the best for you, whoever you are out there, and I really hope that this comes to a peaceful resolution, because I know that if this came out as a possible answer, then it's possible, okay? You guys can fight for it and save that rose that you have in common, that love. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye for now. From Angel.